Folks, the time has finally come. Thank you for all of your messages asking where the heck we were. It was the 4th of July holiday. Bergie just got off a long road trip. I was celebrating my girlfriend's birthday and the 4th and all of that stuff. And so it is Sunday afternoon. We're 2 hours from the new episode, but we're going to be talking about the last week of Love Island. So obviously things are going to switch up tonight. Who knows if Shereé is still even there? So with us for every week this season, we have the one and only Taylor Smith and Carsten Bergie Bergersen. Welcome back, you guys.
Well,
hello. Thanks for having us again.
Guys, I got to tell you, I'm exhausted with this show. Are you? I mean, you guys were on the show, and I know it was not at the kind of the heat that these Islanders are getting, some deservedly so. But do you feel what I mean? Like, it just seems like the audience, it's gone into the stratosphere, and I completely understand some of the anger, but it is so making this show not fun to watch in ways, or also even just aside from all of the slurs that we are finding in the Islanders' social medias, I'm rooting for single players. I'm not rooting for anybody together at this point. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I feel like we've lost the plot of Love Island. Like, it's giving Temptation Island, like Friendship Island. I don't know. I don't see any couple in there finding love. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna give you the full. I'm gonna give you the full Bergie rundown of all seasons of Love Island I have watched. I have watched 7 Love Island seasons, 6 Love Island USA, 1 Love Island games, and this is the worst. I don't want to say it's the worst season I have ever seen, but in the aspects for the reason I watch the show. I watch the show to see people fall in love because I find it cute. I find it happy. I like that happy storyline. Like, Love Island Season 1, I had so many couples that I was rooting for while watching it. Yes, by episode 15, it was dragging. There was only 20 episodes in Love Island Season 1, and it got hard towards the end because they didn't do a Casa Amor twist. It was kind of stretched out over Season 1, but I had Zach and Elizabeth that I was rooting for. I had Alex and Dylan that I was rooting for, and I had people that I loved as a couple and wanted to see them succeed on the outside as a couple. Season 2, I had Johnny and Sally. Did I think they were a good couple together? No, I thought they were toxic, but it was still fun to watch them in their couple area, recoupling up. You know, Johnny's cheating on Sally during Casa Amor. It was like the first time we had Casa Amor. There was a lot of drama there. And then Season 3, there was people that I liked. People didn't really like Corey and Olivia, but I bought their relationship for whatever reason. So, I was rooting for that couple to win, and they ended up winning, so that felt gratifying. Season 4 was similar to this season, probably the most, where there wasn't really a real strong couple. There was a toxic couple, which was Sydney and Isaiah, and I really liked them for the show purpose. They were great together. Season 5, we had Taylor and myself, we had Marco and Hannah, and we had Johnny and Leo, and then we had Carmen and Kenzo. All 4 got in relationships by the end of the season. So, there was a lot of couples to root for. Season 6, we also had, 5 or 6 couples. It was probably the most couples we've ever seen on Love Island with Kaylor and Aaron. We had all final 4 couples be a pretty solid couple. And then, obviously, Kendall and Nicole. That drama happened soon after. I'm trying to think, was there another couple in Season 6? Maybe there's only 5 couples that were really...
Well, and obviously the winner, the winner of last season,
Serena, Cordell,
they're still together. And not that they, like you mentioned, we had some hiccups in terms of people's past coming back to haunt them, or, the video with the Kindle that was found out and that broke up kind of the Nicole relationship. But what about you, Taylor? And by the way, the other question is, why did you guys want to go on this show in the first place?
Yeah, if I'm going to be completely honest, I had the mentality, because when I was dating, I was very much in my single girl era, but I didn't have any luck of finding that person. And when I applied for the show, it was I had the mentality, if I find love, I find love. If I don't, it's not something I'm going to be crying over. Because we also know, the kind of status of how these shows work. But the mentality that I had was just go enjoy the experience, take the opportunity, and if something happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then at least you could say that, you got an opportunity that, you didn't miss out on.
How much of it is it in your head though of, because I imagine after last season going into this season, was there a thought of, I'm going to go on this show and I'm going to be famous?
No, I never thought that actually. I mean, like I knew that like there was some clout that was going to come with it after the show, but I also knew that like, because when you get told that you're flying out to Fiji, you can still have the opportunity of not being on the or you can still like not be on the show. Like just because we got flown out there, I was like, I was in Fiji in my hotel for 32 days and I almost sent myself home because I literally didn't think I was getting on the show. So like when I got on it, I was like super nervous but excited, and I was just more excited for the opportunity. And like in my head, it wasn't like a game to me. It was like, oh, go talk to people, go mingle. Like you're here for a reason, like to grow and to learn about yourself. And that's the experience that I took out of it.
And what about you, Bergie?
Yeah, I was completely opposite. I was fully delusional. I kind of manifested this as an 11-year-old. I was actually with on a family trip in Wyoming when I was 11 years old, and I was watching The Bachelor while everybody else was asleep. And I was like, that's how I'm going to find my wife. I'm going to find my wife on The Bachelor.
Oh, wait. Are you serious, or are you just pulling her leg?
No, I am not pulling your leg.
We got to let you go, Bergie. Taylor, how are you doing this? I don't understand. Is this real? What?
Like, hold up. This is a great story. So anyways, like 12 years after that, I'm filling out the application for Love Island. I was like, yep. And I filled out every fucking answer like I was going to go find my wife on this show. Like I was like, there ain't no way I don't find my wife. Like I filled every single, like they have 100 questionnaire. And each one I was filling out like I was going to find my wife. I left 3 paragraphs of why I was going to find my wife with like each single one. And that's why I got on the show, because like, this kid's freaking delusional. This is going to be comedy.
But I mean,
look,
this is why
it all worked out.
It's why I said you should be on After Sun, to remind people that it's not about like Solo Island or Friendship Island or Amaya Papaya Island, even though people want it to be that. This show is meant to, or supposedly meant to, create couples. And here we are. The finale is next Sunday night, and they are also then the same night premiering Love Island Beyond the Villa, which follows the season 6 castmates in their first reality show, which is very exciting. But this show seems to have fallen apart in this last week. And it's not just what we're seeing on the air, it's what we are dealing with behind the scenes. And so before we get into the actual show element of it, the big thing, and by the way, if you're just watching this show and you have no social media, God bless you. It must be a whole different experience, because online the streets are insane right now, and some of it I completely understand. Now, this obviously, Yulissa was let go the first couple of days because she had said the N-word on the podcast, I think multiple times, and she was let go. There wasn't any big fanfare. Ian Sterling was like, she's no longer joining us, and that was it. Now, as we have moved through it, there has been a lot of hubbub about Hudda, but nothing at that point that was discovered besides her toxic relationship with Jeremiah. Now, Sierra was almost at an all-time high on Instagram. She's lost, I think, close to 150,000 followers in this last week. And why are you shaking your head? No? Oh, more than that?
300,000 followers.
My bad. That's on me. My bad.
It's okay.
So what?
It's still dropping. She's still dropping.
Well, so they had discovered an Instagram story, or it was like I think it was Instagram stories, where she was at a
Botox appointment.
A Botox appointment, and she wrote, I am incredibly expressive with my face, and I catch myself frowning for no reason throughout the day when I'm focusing on something or thinking too hard, LOL. I can also be a little, and then she uses the Asian slur with the C word, CHINCKY, when I laugh, smile. So I love getting a mini brow lift to open up my eyes and get that snatch look. This is not me encouraging, but more so sharing. And she wrote this, and she just put this out there. And then there was another screenshot, I believe I saw this weekend, of somebody telling her that this was a slur. And she said, well, thankfully I wasn't using it that way, which made no sense, because I don't know what she thinks that word is or not, but it obviously somebody warned her. Now, the people running her social media accounts are not running those accounts anymore. Her good friends have now backed off her, and people are speculating that she is going to be let go tonight. What are your guys' thoughts on all of this?
Yeah, so when I saw that come out, I also genuinely believe that like she knew the context of the way she used the slur because she refrained it to a Botox appointment of the reason why she gets her Botox is to not look a certain way, when like that's also a derogatory comment where it's a lot of like people in the Asian culture are like insecure about that. So I feel like she did know the context about that. And for her to say that, oh, well, I wasn't using it in that context, like either go educate yourself or just, like don't use slurs that you don't know the meaning of.
Don't post stupid shit. I mean, this is why I dislike casting influencers to begin with. And then I didn't even realize that she's friends with a bunch of influencers, that she runs in these circles. I was blissfully unaware of that. And this is where the danger is, because I think, God bless influencers in some ways. It's really fun to get free stuff. It's really fun to put your life out there. But if you're going to put your life out there and say stupid shit that is damaging and hurtful towards a certain segment of the population, that's a pretty easy no-go for me. And I was making excuses for her this week. I was like, you know what? Maybe she does, because I'm always like trying to be positive. Maybe she just doesn't know what the word is. I grew up in Olathe, Kansas. I knew what that word was at a very young age. I knew not to say that. I knew that was a slur, and it was pretty cut and dry and very simple for me not to say it for the rest of my life. Bergie, what do you think?
Well, yeah. Well, it's stuff you start learning in like 6th and 7th grade about like cyberbullying, and like everything that you post on the internet is going to stay with you. Like maybe, right, I don't want to age you, but like...
Yeah, by the way, I was born during the printing press, so I don't have to worry in the same way that you guys do.
But like, Taylor, like, I think maybe you can relate to this, like, but like in high school and middle school, they start telling you, like, whatever you post on the internet can come back to haunt you. Like, even now, like, I remember, like, it was like a class in like 7th grade that we had to take about, like, everything we post on Instagram, everything we post on Facebook, like, don't post stuff, like, it can come back to haunt you. So, like, you got to think, like, anytime you do anything on social media, it can come back and bite you in the ass. And I just don't get, like, why there's so many people on this season right now that, like, didn't get that ingrained in them. And like,
it's called Problematic Island. You can go through each one of these people and find something problematic. And I just don't remember it being this intense. And by the way, Bergie, how dare you? We had bullying. We didn't have cyberbullying. We just had flat out bullying. Taylor, you've worked in HR, and like, I mean, my other thought is, and this is where I get paranoid, is like, what is casting doing? Like, don't they like look at everything with a fine? Do they want this kind of drama? Is that what they're looking for? Is us to like get in an uproar about things that are really hurtful? Or did they really just miss this and all of a sudden this just gets out online?
I think that also too, when I feel like they're going through the casting process, they're not doing as much digging. Like when they're going through, like, I'm talking like thousands of applicants. Like, I don't think they're doing the research of, like, yeah, you have a background check and all of that, and like you take a psych test and all of that, but I don't think they're thoroughly like looking through these people's Instagrams to see like if there's anything that like, or looking them up. I just think that like they kind of see the platform, oh, they look like they would be a good fit, like, and they talk to them, and then like they kind of just move through the process, which in my opinion, like, I feel like the HR in me is like, you kind of have to do like your background to know like, who is it that I am casting to this sort of platform that is going to be representing like a whole franchise, you know?
And also when the show is getting bigger numbers than it ever has, in the history of Love Island USA. So my thought though is then people are like, you got to cut her loose. You cut Yulisa loose for what she has done in the past, but we are so far in, we're a week away. I mean, in my head, it was like, are you going to let America vote? Are we going to be the ones to knock her out? Are they going to remove her like they removed Yulisa? What do you guys think is going to happen at this point? I don't think they're going to be removing her tonight, even though she wasn't in the first look. And this is just to remind you, Sunday night's episode has not aired yet. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think should happen?
Real quick, I just want to tap in on what you said with production. I know like 3 years ago when we were applying, in the UK at least, they had 100,000 applicants apply to Love Island. So like, I don't know how they go through each single applicant and look back on stuff. And this was also like a story post, and I'm not aware that like you can like go back and look at like stories I've posted, you know, like 3 years ago. Or
but isn't that shocking? Somebody had it. Somebody was offended enough when it was initially posted in 2023.
Was, though, babe, the thing was, she didn't post this years ago. This was a couple months before she got on the show.
Oh, I thought it was 2023.
No, this was 2025.
Oh.
Yeah, but like I'm still saying, like, as a production person, like obviously someone screenshotted that, but they can't like find that like by looking at their profile. I'm just trying to defend production's casting process.
No. I mean, does production ever flat? I mean, and by the way, obviously you would know what to answer and what not to, but do they flat out ask, "Are you racist?"
I know I was never asked if I'm racist.
I never was asked that.
They made us do a lot of training though before we went into the villa on like being self-aware about the people that you are around you. Like I had to do like maybe 8 hours in the hotel in Fiji before I went into the villa. Do you remember that, babe?
What is it?
Like the training
to do like cultural awareness training for like I had to do like 8 hours of cultural awareness.
Yes, we had to do. Yeah, we had like HR trainings that we had to do
before we stepped foot into the villa.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's before they fly you out. I also saw that Sierra had something on her degree that like she was like culturally aware or something like that. I saw that on the internet too. Take it with a grain of salt, but
yeah, I mean, not aware enough. I feel like that's an easy one. I mean, like I said, that's one of the ones that I've always known. And I was talking to a friend that is Asian this morning, and she was kind of walking me through this again. And I was, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, how did her friends, even her friends running her social media that are her friends, like they let that shit fly initially. And Sierra seems like a nice person. I've liked her up to this point. I don't really, even if this hadn't been out there, I don't know if I would care about. I thought they were gunning to win the whole thing just by default, but I wasn't rooting for Nick and Sierra. But now, I mean, if they let Yulisa go, wouldn't by those rules you have to let Sierra go?
She's got to go, I think. Like,
yeah, I mean, I also think though too, with the finale coming up so soon, being that it is next Sunday, like if she's not gone today, like tonight, then like I think they're gonna keep her, but I think that like she's gonna get no screen time, and they're kind of just gonna ease it off because it's so late. But I think that she should be pulled. Because like how is that fair that someone got pulled for the same thing and she's still on the show for the same thing that someone else got pulled out for?
Well, isn't it funny? Is that like this? Well, it's not funny, but like this show, instead of like this show about potential romance, is becoming like really hard life lessons. You know, like I imagine younger people, like you said, you know, this newfangled cyberbullying class you tell me about that I never had, is that this is, you know, kids, pay attention. Like your social media blueprint is out there, your footprint, and everybody, fingerprint or whatever, everybody is looking at this thing. And even Austin, who was gone after this week in the voting, he finally got his phone back and I think was aware at some of his TikTok reposting. And he made a statement saying, I want to take a moment to address my recent repost that has caused offense to some of you. As you all know, I have a very dry sense of humor, and I genuinely didn't think before sharing that content. It was never my intention to hurt or upset anyone. I value and respect all individuals and their perspectives. I recognize that my choice of content did not resonate well with everyone, and for that, I sincerely apologize. I'm committed to learning from this experience and to being more mindful in the future. Thank you for your understanding and for holding me accountable. Love you all. Thank you so much for an incredible experience. So that was Austin's statement about, I think, his TikTok repostings that I checked this weekend and they were still there, but there was a lot of interesting things to pull from, but he's no longer in the island. So he can throw out his apology and that's it. And then JD, what's his name?
JT.
You mean TJ?
TJ, he was following the Tate brothers, Andrew Tate and stuff like that. And his parents or his family were asking people to take the stuff down while he was in there about him following those guys. But it is interesting because it shows you in 2025 how a lot of people think, how like male behavior is being shaped by the internet, and how like certain slurs are coming off like it's almost cool to talk about and normalize when it shouldn't be normalized at all. Am I really just too off base and being like angry old man here?
No, I think
no.
Everything you're saying is like 100% I agree with.
Ryan, this is what I really like from this season. I'm just like, can we just restart the season? Can we, like, the bill is already built, the cameras are already there, just hire the cameraman for another 6 weeks and let's start Love Island season 8 next week. Like,
you know what? You got the set all ready to go. You got the, I mean, like at this point, I mean, this, and by the way, I know there's a lot of people that genuinely are in it. And for like, by the way, God bless you for the people that love it, that have never watched Love Island before. I get it. I'm so happy that you like it. For me, this is been like some excitement. I mean, we had an insane episode that was also one of the darkest episodes of the season, just showing how disconnected we all are in the fact when they were asking each other or like reading the statements about each other that like blew up the whole island a couple like during last week. But it also just shows you how limited these connections are, that was able to throw them so quickly. And by the way, also we need to throw Ace out of there for saying he's 5'10". Like that's another huge lie. That guy, and by the way, even Austin gets out of there and he says 5'6" on a good day. I saw in a comment. That guy, how are we letting this man go up there and lie like that? And by the way, if you are 5'6" or 5, even if you're 5'8", don't throw in a speech your specific height that's a lie. Why would you even say your height in that moment? Why would you even say, I'm a proud man. Don't say I'm a man that stands 5'10" tall. Everybody knows that's not true. But you know what? He knows it's not true.
Yeah,
I don't know why he was saying that, to be honest.
I don't even think Austin's 6'5", but I think Austin's maybe like 6'2", 6'3". So him saying that, he just upped both their heights, so it equals out.
And then, by the way, this is how messed up TikTok is. I was watching TikTok videos of Ace jumping in the ball pit, and they looked up the ball pit, and the ball pit's like only fits like a 5'6" man, and Ace almost fit into it perfectly. And I was like, oh my God, the viewers of this show are so messed up and so funny at the same time. And I guess, right, it's like a little, I've talked about this before. It feels like the product of where we're at in America in 2025, like we're angry. Like we are angry. We're angry about a lot of different things. And so that anger is filtering its way out into that Fijian island. And I just don't know, because Ariana Madix isn't going to come out and lead a conversation with the Islanders about race in America, about proper behavior, like a very special episode of Love Island. We're not going to have that.
Right. No, 100%. I think what's interesting too is the statement that got put out for who was running Sierra's account.
Yeah, I mean, we both have this, but like there were two different statements I read. One was from Johnny Olivia, and one was from her other friend. I'm trying to find it. MJ Hederman. And MJ Hederman says, "Hi guys, I see your comments concerning someone I love and care about. I want to be clear that I do not condone racism, bigotry, or hate in any way, shape, or form, nor was I aware of the recent screenshots until they were posted. I discovered it at the same time as all you did. I cannot speak for anybody or make any statements besides my own, and decided to take a step back from running her account. I was asked by her family to turn off comments and refrain from speaking on her behalf. This situation has been really difficult, and I'm still processing everything." The other thought is, and this speaks to what you talked about aftercare and mental health care on there. So say they let her go. You are a week away. And I will say the history of Love Island, especially Love Island UK, there have been people unaliving themselves throughout the history of the UK show. Like Sierra made a big mistake that I hope she can correct. And I think this is such a painful thing that she will. But I also don't want to get her to a point where I mean, this is a lot. It's a lot. It's like when it's different, but I was scared for Vanna to come out and to read all the comments about her plastic surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what, I mean, and at the same time, the other argument, sorry, you guys, the other argument is, well, they know what they signed up for. This is what fame is. This is what, hey, I hope you enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. Like,
I think for me, though, it's like, I think Shereé seems like a very sweet, genuine girl. And at the end of the day, it's going to be something that she comes to that is probably going to stick with her for the rest of her life. But she's able to learn and grow. And I feel like the only thing she can really do now is when she gets her phone back is to, like, obviously I hope she gets, like, the therapy and everything that she needs and the love and, like, everything that everyone that she has around her to, like, help support her through this, like, hard time. But, like, I'm also not going to, like, kind of justify what she did because, like, saying a racial slur at the end of the day, like, wrong is wrong. But you just have to be an adult, take accountability, and kind of, like, accept the fact that, like, you can just, like, grow from here and kind of move on. But I don't think that she's, like, an angry person or, like, I think that she's a super nice person. I think that maybe it comes to a certain point when you need to be educated on certain things. And it's like, if you take accountability and say that you're uneducated, then, like, allow yourself to educate, like, throughout, after she comes out.
And I think my girlfriend bought me this fun shirt because of Nick, Mommy's little meatball that he was wearing. And then I wear it and it's like on the most serious episode that we've had this season. I was like, oh, a fun shirt to show Bergie and Taylor. And now it's ruined. And so I guess that's like kind of the opening salvo that everybody's talking about, but just the intensity in which people are talking about it. I mean, I can't go online without seeing something about it. And I guess it's just one of those things. It's like, this is not a fun show all of a sudden to watch. And it feels like they're angry on the island. We're angry off the island. And I don't care who wins at this point.
No. That's the other crazy thing. I was gonna actually start the podcast this way, but we're already 26 minutes in. Yeah. But, like, I turn on my Peacock subscription and I already feel disappointed. Like, I'm like, do I even want to watch this episode? And it's like, like, the thing that makes me want to watch this episode is just for these recaps. It's not even. Sorry,
my bad. I'm your personal hell. But I mean,
that's the only reason. Like, I'm still going. I'm like, I just gotta, like, keep going through it. I'm excited for Beyond the Villa, though, and I'm excited for Love Island Season 8 and Love Island Game Season 2, but at this point, Season 7 can just end. It could have ended after Costa, like we were talking about.
Do you feel the same, Taylor, or are you fully in it still?
Well, no, like, I'm definitely not in it. I checked out maybe 2 weeks ago.
Whoa. Don't be that honest. My God, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, though, like, we've gotten a lot of, like, great gold, like, some one-liners that obviously, like, have gone viral. Like, I'm gonna stick with my girl Amaya Papaya. Like, Amaya Papaya till the end.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Amaya, we were talking about a couple weeks ago, that she would be where she's at, where she's America's sweetheart, and Huda's like the most followed. Who would have thought a couple weeks ago that we would be talking about Huda and Amaya Papaya as America's sweethearts?
It's crazy. Because I feel like Ryan, I feel like this season has put me in, like, a life cycle. Like, I'll like someone, and then I'll be like, nah, and then I'll be like, okay, yep. I like him, and I like him now. Like, that was me with Huda. Like, I straight out said she scares me, but now I'm like, damn, she got bullied. Like, now I fuck with her.
Well, I always think with these shows, two things can be true at once. I do think she exhibited extremely toxic behavior in that relationship with Jeremiah, but it is interesting to see the different colors of Huda, and it's a great reminder in life of how we all have these different colors, and you never know which one the camera is going to showcase. And then secondly, just back to, like, the insane amount of followers they all gain in the villa for the most part, but going back to Shereé losing 300,000 followers, is that, to your point, these fans, they're made overnight. Like, I'm a fan of Amaya all of a sudden. That's not like being the fan of a football team for 25 years. And that's why when Shereé does say something, you immediately drop her. You are a fan that like, I'm a fan for 24 hours, boom, I'm done, moving on, because they have not earned your fandom. And we are making all of these people celebrities overnight. And then we act shocked when they disappoint us when I'm like, they haven't earned it because you stayed in an island for 3 weeks.
Right.
Like, how is that earning my fandom over like, no, that's why people are dropping her like a hot potato.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Like I'm like last year we could talk about Islanders that we wanted to see on the Traders or any other show. Like this year, I'm not like, oh, I really want to see Nick on this show. I really want to see Ace again. Or I really want to see this person. Like, there's not, like, Islanders that I want to see again, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not, like... I
want to see him on couples therapy. I want to see him, like, in a therapist's couch. I want to see him... Like, I mean, I really don't know. And it's like... But the thing is, you know, it's not bombing. Like I said, best ratings that the show has ever had. Obviously, they're going to continue on for many more seasons. So it's not a failure at all. It's just that I think it's been weird to like follow something day in, day out. And you do not have, like with normal reality shows we talked about, you have 10 months in between shooting and then release. And now it's all released and shot within the same week. So it's just a lot. It's a lot to take in. And I'm getting scared for all of them leaving this. And there's no strong, like, I guess Ace and Shereé.
I don't think that's a thing either.
No.
I mean, they just don't seem like they can close off, even though in the last episode she seems to be hinting towards it, and they seem to kind of, but it's like so misguided. I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to see Taylor and Clark close off. I think that's their only hope for a couple closing off. And that would be awful.
This Taylor is going to drive me to an early grave. This Taylor, like the fact that he's like, fine, I choose Clark when Olandria had her like big moment of yelling at him, which I think we all wanted. But then at the same time, it was it was weird within the confines of that game.
Well,
even though
low-key got clocked.
What do you mean?
Like Taylor clocked her ass. Like was like, okay, like.
Yeah, so I choose Clark.
What Olandria was saying was like, or no, what Taylor was saying was like, you wanted me to move for you, but he was like. She was dismissing the way he was feeling about Clark, being like, I felt, you know, like with you, I had a great time, blah, blah, blah. But like with Clark, I kind of felt like a little kid. I got butterflies. And then she goes and dismisses his feelings, being like, you're 25 years old. You're a grown man. And he's like, I can't be a little kid. Like, I can't get those butterflies. Like, how are you going to tell someone because they don't like you that they can't feel a certain way about a different person? Like, that's what I wasn't getting. And I felt like Taylor did a good job at like holding himself, like telling that to Olandria without being like simply like, I don't like you. Like, and I think he stood on business saying that he chose Clark.
He stood on business, but Olandria, like, obviously that had all been built up inside of her because, like, she kept picking this man, and really had convinced herself that they had something when the audience at home, we were all like, no, you don't. And not that I think he has some great romance with Clark anyways, but the fact that, like, she says all that and he goes, fine, I choose Clark, you know, like, yeah, that's a great, but, like, I don't know, he just bothers me the way, like, his kiss. And all by the way,
just Pepe and like bring back Hannah and Jeremiah, have Pepe and Hannah win, and we'll just call it good.
No, Pepe's doing what he does best, going in for somebody that had a strong connection that left the villa. Pepe's like, I'm on Iris now. This guy does not miss a beat. I like Pepe a lot, but the fact that I was like, Iris is going to be just fine. Like, what the hell? I don't know if that was Friday's episode or Thursday's episode, so you might not have seen it, but like they're looking at each other across their beds.
They were talking to each other on the dock. I did see that.
Yeah, you missed Friday. So they're going to so these guys missed Friday, you guys. So I'm going to catch them up throughout this. But like, it looks like this episode, Pepe and Iris are going to get closer. And Iris seems open to it, even though she was crushed that her dude left the villa. And it just is so eerily reminiscent of Charlie and Hannah. And, you know, this and by the way, I don't think Pepe is lascivious or is like this master manipulator, but it is funny. He definitely has a type.
Oh, yeah, he definitely does. But I think he's going to probably make it to Final Four. And who do you guys think is going to make it to Final Four?
I don't care. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, like I would rather they open up the voting to just single players. Like if it was single players just for entertainment alone, I would go Amaya at this point.
Yeah.
If it's a couple,
Amaya, he's with.
Like, this has never been an issue to where, like, people are confused of who they want to win, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like you've had all this time in the villa to make these connections, and then everybody got in their heads about if you close off too early, then you're not exploring. And then if you like all of these weird things, and now here we are the last week, and I don't feel like there is any truly strong connections. And when they got those America votes, that was hysterical to watch Ace realize in real time, or sort of real time, that he was at the bottom. You know, he had to be like, I know who I am. And I'm like, no, I mean, obviously you don't.
Ryan, he thought he was going to be up there with most. You know he did. He thought he was going to be up there with most. Like, he was like, I got this shit in the bag. And when his ass was at least, he got fucking humbled real quick. America humbled his ass.
And when they voted, they got, I forgot how many, what is it, like 6 million votes within like the span of a very short time frame. And I'm like, only if we could convince people to vote in elections like that. Like, next time elections should be held on the phone, and they should have the presidential candidates and like bathing suits and like the Love Island coloring, because everybody was all hopped up to vote on these like these things. And, but also I do not want to go on vacation with Amaya and Nick. Or Zach, Amaya and Zach with a K. I do not want to, like, Zach's like, all right. Like, and Zach is now trying to backtrack this past episode thinking like, oh, I respect Amaya. You know, we've had our thing, but she's cool, because he's trying to get back in like Amaya's good graces, because everybody knows Amaya's like the #1 popular person now.
Yeah. And like, it just goes to show too, it's like, damn, this cast is so fucking calculated. Like, the way everyone moves in the villa is so calculated. Like, even I felt like, Ryan, did you ever feel like when Sierra was doing her vote, when the reason why that she could have gone and stood by Olandria, but she chose Taylor.
Well, it could be because she said in a later episode that was because of Nick, so she wanted to stand by Nick. But Olandria was pissed about that move. Olandria was like, "Why did my girl stand behind Taylor?" And I completely understand that. But I think Sierra, like you said, is in her mind of, "Well, I'm doing this because I want to win Love Island USA with Nick."
Like, so calculated, and like, to me, like, that it doesn't give girl. Like, it gives like very calculated. Like, if that was me, I'd be like, no, I'm sorry, babe, or whatever. Like, I'm standing with my girl. Like, I'm so sorry. Like
the Justin Bieber meme. You don't get it. I'm standing on business. Okay, so to go over some highlights from the last week, last Sunday, Olandria and Elon were saved. And we were going to see how that affected people like Taylor and Sierra. So remember, that was off the Nicolandria stuff as well. Chris, who was one of the Casa Amor guys, was still interested in Shereé, despite also having a bond with Hutta. And he wanted to keep getting to know her while keeping Ace in the loop about her interest in exploring both connections. Ace made it clear, though, that he did not like this. He did not lose. Ace later had a conversation with Taylor, who claimed he would still be willing to explore a future with Olandria after embarrassing her by choosing Clark. And it was unclear why Taylor thought he was still an option Olandria was interested in. And then they did the heart rate challenge, you guys. And the scores at the end of the night revealed that Iris's heart rate was raised the most by Nick, and Amaya's by Pepe, Adrina's by Pepe, Jaden's by Nick, Shelly's by Chris, Hutta's by Elon, Grayson's by Nick, Sierra's by Elon, Olandria's by Chris, and Clark's by Ace. And the guys, TJ's heart rate was raised by Grayson, Zach's by Sierra, Brian's by Sierra, Austin by Amaya, Chris's by Shereé, Pepe's by Adrina, Nick's by Iris, Elon's by Sierra, Taylor's by Olandria, and Ace's by Hutta. And this was like a weird thing, because there was some speculation that things were getting really weird with the cut in regards to Hutta dancing on Ace. Mm-hmm. Did you guys hear this?
Yeah, I TikTok clips of like it being edited out, like where it looked like Hutta was just about to get on top of Ace, and then the next second it cuts to a different camera and it shows her standing up.
There was speculation that Ace got a boner by Hutta.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's why Shereé got so pissed.
I mean,
Yeah.
sorry to be so graphic, but like, does that stuff happen on? I mean, like, did that not you, but like, did it happen to other Islanders? Like, if somebody's gyrating on you, like, is that a normal thing that you guys have had to reset for? Like, hey, stop, things are happening.
That never happened on our season.
No. Do you remember movie night with Keenan?
No, what happened?
Remember he kept getting boners and he had to, like, there was on movie night during our season, there was, sorry, Keenan, but there was a clip with Keenan, but like he had to keep walking away the conversation. He kept grabbing a pillow to hide his boner.
Oh, no way. I had no idea.
Yeah, like that was on movie night for us because like I had no idea, but he kept getting like a boner or something, and he had to keep
We don't even get movie night. I hear this week.
Oh, we don't?
Well,
That's what I
heard that too, and we talked about it though. There was nothing to show this season.
Well, somebody I thought this was fascinating. They were going to show people's TikToks of clips they made about the Islanders, and I was like, that's kind of an interesting idea.
No way. That would be crazy.
That much of a mind fuck, I feel like.
Oh my god, if they had that one of Ace in the ball pit, if Ace had to watch him in the ball pit saying he was 5'6", how fun would but it did say that Islanders are going to get a visit from their family this week.
They're bringing their families?
Like, if they fly out their families, I'm actually going to low-key be really pissed about that.
Why? Because you missed your family so much?
Well, because they edited my grandpa in like a dirty way while we were in the villa.
What'd they do?
Well, like they made him seem like he didn't like Taylor. Like I'm pretty sure they like popped the question to him. Like
they made him seem like he was racist.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. It was not movie night for us. Like, or what family night for us. Like, that's probably why we got third.
Wow. So yeah, Shereé was not happy with Hudda putting on a special performance, and it was a mess. Like Hudda was still making out with Ace and bouncing on him. Hudda got some support from some girls, and most of the villa stood by Shereé, who said her friend took it too far, and especially because she was so possessive with her ex Jeremiah. So that was Shereé's big thing of like, how are you going to be so upset when people are making moves with Jeremiah, but then you made a move on Ace, you made a move on Nick, you made all of these things. And to Hudda's point, Hudda was like, this is the game. Like, I understood it and I didn't understand it, but it also shows that there is no girl code. There is no PPG here, even though Shereé, Olandria, and Sierra want to be PPG. It's just not happening. So Shereé, she was upset, and that was kind of like the end of the episode leading into Monday's episode on June 30th. And, you know, Hudda immediately went over to Shereé and was like, hey, let's talk. And she was like, not right now. We can talk tomorrow. I'm just not in a place. And you could just tell Hudda was back to that miserable Hudda look that we have come to know and love through it. You know, she's just miserable. Did you guys have any thoughts about this whole thing?
I mean, I understand, you know, like I kind of see Hudda's place and I see Shereé's place. Like I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here, but I feel like, you know, if I was Shereé, like I get like why she was hurt, but I feel like it maybe was coming from more of an insecurity more than like, I'm mad at you because you did this. Because like at the end of the day, like it's a challenge and it's supposed to be meant to be like, you know, sexy and like the girls are supposed to do their thing on the guys. Like, and Shereé did her big one with the tall guy, Chris. So I don't know. Like, I felt like it was more of like, she kind of just got maybe a little insecure and that like Ace was kind of like enjoying it maybe a little too much. And I get like where the place that she was coming from, but I also get Hudda was just trying like to enjoy herself and like do the challenge and like go all out. Like she did that twerking challenge with Meg Thee Stallion. Like I don't know. Like, so it was.
By the way, also people are saying that she was like a former stripper, but I don't think she was. I think that was like an internet rumor. Did you see that?
I did see that, but she'd be an awesome stripper.
She'd be amazing, but I just thought she was into musical theater. Like I was just thought like that's the other thing about the fandom. Like I can't tell what is real and what is made up anymore.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, I did see that rumor, but sorry, go back.
Oh yeah. I've just seen so many rumors on the internet. So like when the Sierra thing actually first came out, I know I'm going back to the Sierra thing. I'm like, did someone just edit that photo over and just put that on there? Like that was my first thing. I was like, oh, that can't be real. And then the lashing out started, and then like that picture of someone swiping up and saying something, and then I was like, okay, nope, it's definitely real. But like my first impression is like I don't know what to believe on the internet anymore because people are like, oh my gosh, my ex is on Love Island, and then they don't even know the person. Like there was so much clout chasing of that.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, my ex is on Love Island.
Oh yeah, I remember before this season started, some guy was saying that he hooked up with one of the guys from this season of Love Island, and I'm just like, you can say anything you want nowadays. Like that's the frustrating thing is that it's so to make heads or tails, and like TikTok doesn't do a real good job of policing their content, and that's what's so frustrating to make heads or tails of any of this stuff because we get to see what we see edited down, and then all the stuff offline. You can legitimately make anything these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, like this past week, I'm not even gonna lie. I even thought of like when we recap next season, if I'm back on Ryan, I was like, do I even like go on TikTok while I'm like trying to do these recaps? Because like, are they influencing my decision of like what's actually happening?
Well, I mean that's so hard, and I mean. To be honest, I want the TikTok ban to happen because I need those 3 hours of my life back every night that I just lose because I'm not good. You guys are good at making TikToks. I'm so bad at talking to the camera. And then I watch all this stuff and then it's like 3 hours have gone by like nothing. And I want my time. I used to read books like I used to actually do. I'm going to move to South Dakota with you, dude. And I'm going to just I'm just going to go in a cabin with you guys. Anyways, back to Monday's episode. So we have Ace. Ace got rubbed the wrong way since he felt Shereé was being hypocritical, wondering why he wasn't allowed to kiss Huda too much in a challenge, but Shereé was allowed to keep her options open with Chris outside the challenge. Several conversations about that situation took place between Ace and Shereé, and they seemed like they were at, like, by the end of it, more at odds than not. And Ace was questioning his future with Shereé, and that caused him to question his previous desire to close things off with her. And then as for Chris, he now found himself more gravitating towards Huda, who was also interested in him. And Chris cited Shereé's lack of interest in him as a reason why he wanted to leave that to go explore Huda. And like, once again, I just don't know if these are real connections or they just want to stay in the game. And then there was Sierra and Nick, who got to go enjoy a date out of the villa. And they had this conversation and the pair chose to close things off. And this is some of the cheesiest dialogue. What did Nick say during this? He was like, you make me feel all the things. Like, what did he say? It was like so funny, but it was this kind of ridiculous conversation. It reminded me of the beginning of Grease, that movie Grease for some reason. And they closed it off. And Elon was back at the villa going like, I don't know, I still kind of into Sierra, who knows? And as Elon's saying that, they walk back in and it's like full on summer lovin', like summer lovin' had me a blast. And like Nick's talking to the boys and Sierra's talking to the girls, and then everybody's screaming that they closed off. Also, they flat out finally said, we've had sex. She's like, Sierra's like, yes. And when we had sex the other day, and I was like, finally, we're saying actual sex. And they've been having a lot of sex. And I think that's another thing. Taylor, you can speak to this. Well, I don't want to speak towards anything Bergie related, but, female, like if a man sleeps with a woman, that's different. Like, isn't there like a thing that's released in like the female body that like you're, I'm just I'm mangling this.
I think though, like from like a girl's perspective of like once like you have a connection with a guy and you do get intimate, like you have that certain attachment where it's kind of hard to like let go. Like bringing sex like into your relationship is an intimate thing where it's like, okay, like, I'm choosing to give my body to you, and like, not saying like if Sierra's religious or anything, but I think for like females, we just take it more as like, okay, like if we're doing this, like it's more of an attachment. Like now I feel like I'm attached to you because now we've made this decision to like be intimate.
And with guys, they're like, hey, I want to kiss everything. I want to, like, I like you, but I also, wow, there's other boobs and butts over here. And I know that sounds really horrible, but like the guys of Love Island seems to move that way. And like, it is so funny that the editing seems like Sierra ever had a real choice between Elon and Nick when it's always Nick. It's always going to be Nick.
Right.
So they are going to close off. Everybody's excited for them. And then Zach with a K. We have him. Olandria wanted to explore her options about getting to know Zach, but then Zach, who was then catching heat from Amaya for not speaking to her, but also not trying to connect with other women. Zach's intentions were called into question, and Elon chose that as his opening to get to know Amaya since Sierra was no longer an option. So that was kind of Monday's episode. This Zach with a K is moving in so many different directions, and he wants to stay there. You know, I guess they all just want to stay there.
Yeah, I think it's just more so him not wanting to leave the show and being calculated once again.
Yeah.
Every
that
day
brings
I was just going to say, every day you're there, you're getting thousands more followers. So like every day you're there, you're making more money than you are in the villa. Like that makes sense. Like every day you can stay there, you're getting another like maybe 10 to 20, 30,000 followers.
Yeah, but the fact that that's even a thought in somebody's head, like I feel like we should ban for like future Islanders from having like it's just social media for a year. Like, if you want to be here, you can be here. If not, we're gonna this isn't America's top influencer. Like we have so many influencers.
Yeah, and I think
is that what
that's
they did on the Bachelor?
What's that?
Is that what they did on
What?
Bachelor seasons where you like post for a year or something?
No, I thought they had to stay together for a year, but I haven't been a part of Bachelor Nation for a while, so I'm not sure.
I don't think so, babe.
You're right. Yeah, no, it's not a rule.
Yeah, I don't think that's a rule. But what I think Love Island should stick to is like normal people and not influencers that like kind of know, because I feel like, like we'll go back to like Sierra. She had already like 50,000 followers, so she was already an influencer. She knows she's making money off of Instagram.
Huda was huge on TikTok for workout videos.
Huda huge on TikTok, like has over 500K followers. So it's like they already have that like kind of PR training in a sense where like they're working to grow their brand. And I just think that like that just defeats the whole purpose of like the premises of what Love Island is. And it's like, if you're gonna be casting influencers, then don't make it Love Island. Like Influencer Island, like I don't know, but like Love Island is not for influencers. I feel like it should be for people that are like actually trying to find genuine love.
Yeah, I'm actually off of that. I think for casting next year, they need to make sure they balance out people that are wanting to just have a good summer and explore, and people that like really want to fall in love. Because I think that's what makes like the best seasons. Like you need someone that like doesn't fall in love right away, but you also need people that fall in love right away, like Jeremiah, Huda. But you also need a couple people that do explore, like maybe Ace. So that way in Casa More, there is that drama. Or like last year, we could say like the person still exploring was Aaron. Like you need an Aaron, you need a Kaylor. That way, like Kaylor lashes out when Aaron doesn't come back with a girl or did something in Casa. Like you need to balance up the island to make sure. Like also too this year, I think what happened was there was more people in power that were just explorers than people that just wanted to fall in love. Because if it was the other way around, people like wanting to fall in love and they had the power, all the explorers would have been out, which also could be a terrible season. Because then I think that's what was season 4's downfall, is like nobody really explored. They just all kind of locked down right away. Like if you go back watch Love Island season 4, I think 3 of the day one couples were in the final 3. So that was what season 4's downfall was. So it was like too many people that fell in love right away and not enough explorers. So you need to balance out the explorers in the.
But I feel like it's like I feel like this season is literally giving like Dora the Explorer, and like you need a swiper no swiper on the bitch and say like I want to find my match.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, like there's nobody that came back from Casa Amor where I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. What if they don't go back to their part? Like there is nobody. You could have gone any direction and I think I would have been okay with it. And just like we've been saying this whole hour is that like, yeah, I like people like, I like Amaya. I don't like Amaya with anybody else. And by the way, if we're just being honest, I think it's going to take a very special guy that she is not going to find in that island to be Amaya's match. And I can understand why Amaya has been too strong for, say, Ace or for Austin. I can understand, but I still think Amaya is so special. But I understand that is probably a lot for certain men of that villa. But she's the ultimate winner already. I mean, she is going to come out like the amount of brands that were like commenting on a TikTok about her this week.
She's got a coffee drink named after her.
Yes. What is it? Amaya
Papaya.
Does she get any money from that? Like, did they do that deal without her?
She'll get a check from that for sure.
She better. Like, they better have come in and like, hey, we want to put your name on a soda. Like, the fact that I'd come out, like, I'd get all this love and then I find out I'm a part. Like, if my name got branded with Diet Coke Sunday, that would be like a dream. If it was like Bailey Diet Coke.
She's going to come back, like, and everyone, like, the whole world, like, loves her. So, like, I can't wait till she gets out the villa to, like, see all of her like thank yous and like how blessed she is. We know she's gonna break down crying a little.
But I also understand why she hasn't found love yet. I understand.
100%. But I feel like she deserves someone that is not in that villa that understands and just accepts her for who she is as a person.
Yeah. I think she'd be perfect casting for Love Island Game Season 2 as well.
Oh, you're right. I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, by the way, she might be too big for the show at that point. Like, I mean, like, who knows? Tuesday's episode, we had Iris and TJ. They had a good night after they had hooked up in Soul Ties. Sierra and Nick, they had, I guess, loud sex after closing things off in the bedroom. And there was also Amaya and Zach with a K at that crossroads. And then this is where we had the letters calling everybody out and offering them the chance to leave these messages anonymous so they can stand on business. And this was just insanity from the moment, which, by the way, I hate to keep harping on this. Did you notice how the mailbox was almost taller than Ace? Like the poor guy couldn't even reach the mailbox. I was like, they're really trying to show us his height because there was no reason that mailbox should have been that tall. Like he had to reach up.
He was on his tippy toes.
Production knew he was going to mention 5'6" at some, or 5'10" at some point.
He must have been around that villa talking about being 5'10" for like days on end. So they're like, we're going to catch him now.
No, because if I was production, I would be like, America's going to eat this shit up. Like, let's just make it a little taller.
We did. By the way, I've thought about it a lot. Like, that's one of the things that, like, in my weird brain, I just keep thinking about. Of like, because Ace, even if you don't like him, has so much going for him. So much going for him. Why would he get caught up in the height lie? Like, that is so provable.
I know.
Okay, so we get this whole thing, and Austin started first, and he received a note from Audrina about how it didn't make sense that he made it this far since he didn't give any girl any effort. And, Audrina took that, and Audrina wasn't there with Austin the whole time, but, I think Bergie's dying in the background.
Ryan, he doesn't know how to swallow water.
God, I mean, you send these kids to Fiji, and they don't come back even knowing how to drink water.
Taylor, trying to teach him how to drink water, and we still can't get there.
This is like the worst version of Aquaman I've ever seen. Wow, the fact that Taylor got that geek joke. By the way, Superman comes out this Friday, you guys. Do you think Audrina was right that it didn't make sense how he got this far because he didn't give any girl any effort?
To be honest, I actually I don't know if I would say I agree with it because he did get effort. I just think that he did get effort and try to get to know Shelly. I felt like he really wanted to get to know Shelly, and then he wanted to kind of see where things with Amaya went. And then obviously I feel like he did try with Jaden. So I don't know. I would say I'd probably disagree with that.
Nick and Sierra got some shade for loud sex. But then also Sierra had to answer for all the girls who had sent Hannah home after Pepe expressed, that not being happy with that decision. And I don't know if you guys remembered Sierra's explanation for this, which it's at the point where I'm like, I don't care as much, where it just felt like she was like a politician, where it was like, I totally understand. I understand your anger, but this is what we were thinking. And all of a sudden she was put as the spokesperson of that group, which I almost thought put a target on her back as well.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I don't know. The little things about her is a little calculated. And also, let me know if you, like, her speech, like, when she was kind of speaking on that, it didn't make sense where she was like, Hannah had 2 connections and it just didn't even make sense. Because, like, for me, if someone had 2 connections, like, that would be the reason why I would keep them in the villa. And, like, Hannah had a connection with Pepe and like a great connection with Charlie, where they just resurfaced, like, everything, cleared the air. And I felt like Sierra's reasoning was not backing up, like, anything of the regards of, like, why she actually sent Hannah home.
Yeah. I just kind of was like, okay, nice try, but it didn't add up to me. And Amaya, we get to her and she got a funny note from Chris about her snoring. And then Austin, Zach, and Ace, they kind of took turns talking about her crying too much, how she moves too quickly in relationships. And generally they were like that she isn't their type. And this is where these guys were short-sighted if they're playing the long game, not realizing that we're watching, right? And that we're going to eventually vote, and that she was an audience favorite because Amaya did her thing and got immediately tearful, and all of our hearts broke.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you agree? I mean, any thoughts about that?
I felt like they came off way too aggressive for that. I didn't think it was, like, necessary. Like, for Austin, I felt like Austin got really defensive, and then I don't know.
And Austin telling her to pipe down, like, kind of like he was like, it was like kind of male bullshit of like telling her what's what, and she was like, "Listen, you're the one with the forehead vein popping out."
Yeah.
Or a neck vein.
Like, that just seemed like it seemed really aggressive when it didn't need to be that aggressive.
Agreed. And I also, like, I don't understand why they were dismissing, like, a person's feelings, like, in the first place. Like, it should be, like, honestly, they're all in that villa. Like, you're going through so much mentally in that villa. And, like, I know for myself, like, there were so many breakdowns and, like, things that you're constantly thinking about, worrying about, like, how you're being perceived and all of these things happening to you. Like, it's a very emotional experience. And I thought that was very dismissive of, like, them being like, oh, well, you cried so damn much. And it's like, that's just so, like, rude and so aggressive when a person is just showing emotion.
I mean, yeah, you're making somebody an underdog. I mean, you're letting us, like, giving us an opportunity to root for her more by putting her in this position where, we feel like she is being treated less than. And I think that is complete BS. And especially from those dudes, it just didn't make a lot of sense. Pepe got some mail talking about his feelings for Grayson being questioned. And she wasn't happy with how he was still so hung up on Hannah. And it doesn't seem like they figured that out as a couple. Like the Grayson and Pepe thing, yeah, you could just tell he was trying to be a gentleman, but he wasn't into her at all.
Yeah, and I think, though, like, he was, like, trying to kind of go around it. But at the end of the day, like, I always say, like, if you're honest and you're straight up, like, I feel like someone is going to respect you that much more. Like, it sucks that he kind of kept leading her on, saying, like, oh, I could see where this, like, we could see where this goes. Like, I like you. You're cute. All of this stuff. He's very flirty and kind of, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to sweet talk a girl. And I just think that it would have helped him and would have been in his favor if he would have just been straight up and honest with her from the first place. Like, listen, I had a connection. I'm still very much into her. Like, I hope that we can, like, still be friends. But I feel like Pepe, that also comes, like, with a little calculation too of, like, oh damn, I might not be able to say that because that could lead for me of, like, me being single or me possibly being dumb, so I gotta ride this out and, like, hopefully not say the words of, like, I'm still into Hannah, or I still feel a connection elsewhere that when that person is not even in the villa.
Yeah. I mean, you're allowed to not like somebody romantically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are allowed to not like someone romantically, and I think he's kind of going in a more respectful way than Taylor did in the first half of the season with Alondria. Like, he kind of led Alondria on, because I think we all knew that Taylor did not like Alondria the way Alondria liked Taylor. He just kind of like let it on. Like, he wasn't like, maybe we should still be open to exploring new connections. Like, he never mentioned that.
But I didn't know if that was just his like, oh, like we're all like maybe he's just a weird dude. Like I didn't know if he like, I was kind of like, oh, everybody keeps like supporting this relationship, including Ace. So I was like, maybe he really is, and he's just like a weird, odd duckling, and maybe that's what's going on here. And then we found out, obviously, he does not dig her, and he seems to be more with Clark.
Yeah. He's actually a lot of Jesse from Love Island season 4. He was coupled up with Deb the whole season, and you could just kind of tell like the whole couple was off the whole time because he wasn't really initiating anything the whole season.
Yeah. We also talked about the clique got brought up in regards to the girls. Control. Oh, no, sorry. Ace had to answer about why he had not closed off yet with Shereé. This was when Austin and Amaya kind of got into it about like the boys clique and Ace controlling things. And things got really intense when Shereé read a note from Ace questioning the boundaries she put in place for him and not herself. And then she was also called out by Huda for her relationship with Chris. And then we got to the worst stuff is when Nick told Huda she robbed Hannah of a chance at love because she stayed when she should have been sent home. And then Shereé piled on by calling Huda selfish and not a girl's girl. And then Alandria chimed in and talked about Huda kissing Chris, which Huda only told a couple of people. So this is when things were like, when Alandria was like, girl, what are you doing? Alandria like revealed this information. Uh-oh, is the police here?
Yeah, they're coming for me.
Okay. Huda was like defending herself and reminding yet again that they're all on a dating show where people should be kissing and exploring connections. The same thing that they pressured her to do when she was locked in with Jeremiah. But it was really insane to have Alandria reveal that information about Huda that was revealed privately about her making out with Chris.
Yeah, and I think, did you see the stats after that night's episode?
No, in terms of like following count?
Yeah, Alandria. No. And then Sierra's racist comic also came out that day. But Shereé and Alandria actually lost followers from that episode for being mean from that comment. So not only like did I find that like mean and rude, but like the audience found it enough mean and rude to go unfollow them on Instagram.
God, well. America was responding, and this is like it all leads up to Alandria and Clark and Taylor, and this was the back and forth with Taylor up there that was really thrilling. But like you said, Taylor did kind of clear her in a sense by saying, "You want me to choose? I choose Clark," and it was brutal. And like I really felt for Alandria in like how impassioned she was. And that had like, it almost is like they did this so Alandria could have this moment, but like the way she bungled the moment with Huda initially made you root for her a little less. And I mean, I think it speaks to a lot of dudes that we're like scared to say our actual feelings, and we're scared of like hurting people's feelings and all of this stuff. So, but this was a brutal episode. I mean, it was one of those things like, what are we doing from this point on?
Yeah, no. And I felt like it made the villain, like, especially this close, I think this was the replacement for movie night. If you had to ask me, like, what did the producers do to replace movie night? I think this was the replacement for it. They're like, we don't have any footage. Let's have the Islanders write notes about each other anonymously, and then they can come out and, like, say if they want to say it. But, like, I think that's their way of replacing movie night. And it just kind of, movie night kind of, like, shatters the villa, and I felt like that was their version of movie night to shatter the villa right after Casa.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely it could be that. I mean, it was just A brutal episode. I did watch it a second time because I did find because that segment was 30 minutes, and it was a really thrilling 30 minutes, the way it was edited and the reaction shots, and Ace going up there and giving a monologue and all of it. There was it was a real up and down, but it just kind of also it left you feeling bad because it was just oh man, everybody just I think they're tired of being there.
Yeah. I feel like everyone's kind of mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it too. Nobody wants to really fight for themselves too. Sometimes, when it comes to, when they're getting called out, it felt like they didn't even want to fight anymore. They were just they just accepted it.
Yeah. Completely. And that leads us to Thursday, which was America's voting. And this took forever, this whole segment, but America got to vote. We got our voices heard in a bunch of different categories. And one was you ranked the couples you'd want a vacation with from most to least. And it was Amaya plus Zach is number 1. Sierra and Nick were number 2. Grayson and Pepe were number 3. Huda and Chris were number 4. Iris and TJ were 5. Jaden and Austin, you forget that Jaden's even there sometimes, even she's paired up with Austin. They were 6. Andrina and Brian were number 7. And I know you guys didn't watch Friday's episode, but Brian's coming on really good. Brian's doing really well in Friday's episode. 8 was Shelly and Ace, and 9 was Clark and Taylor. So we got to see Ace and Shelly and Taylor and Clark realize that because they started off at the front because they made the teams vote on who they think America would vote, and then they were totally wrong.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that was honestly such a humbling challenge, the way people are moving in the villa too, because if anything, it has them now more mentally kind of screwed up, being damn, well, why wasn't I in most? And I feel like it's just going to make them kind of not be their true, authentic, genuine selves, because now they're thinking about, oh, well, Amaya, America loves Amaya, so let me try to get in there with her and build a relationship with her, when it's no, you can't, now, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ryan, I don't know if you saw, but a lot of people are saying, where's the Twitter challenge? Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, a lot of people on my TikTok, at least, are going where's the Twitter challenge? And there hasn't been a Twitter challenge since Love Island season 4. They've replaced Twitter. Twitter got bought out by Elon Musk, and it was renamed X. So
I've heard of that. Yes, yes, I've heard of that.
Yes, okay. But anyways, on my so there was no more Twitter challenge after season 4. So they started doing America voting. We did a paddle game on my season. You raise a paddle and which islander you thought they were talking about. And then season 6, what did they do for season 6? There was a different game. Was it Threads? It was the car one, the car wash challenge, where they had to dump stuff where they were an islander, but it wasn't a Twitter challenge. And so I see a lot of people saying, where's the Twitter challenge? There hasn't been a Twitter challenge. So I think this was their version of the Twitter challenge. Past seasons was this one here.
So the next one, these were the games. Boys, you ranked the boys from most to least genuine. Pepe was number 1. Chris was number 2. Zach with a K was number 3. Nick was number 4. Elon was 5. Brian 6. TJ 7. Austin 8. Ace 9 and Taylor 10. So at the bottom again. And then you ranked the boys from best boyfriend material to worst. And it is pretty Pepe, Chris, and Nick were the top 3. Elon, Zach, and Brian were 4, 5, and 6. TJ 7, Ace, Austin, and Taylor were the bottom 3 of that, of the boys. And then the girls, you ranked the girls from most to least genuine. Amaya was 1, Iris 2, Olandria 3, Grayson 4, Huda 5, Jaden 6, Sierra 7, Andrina 8, Shelly 9, and Clark 10. And then you rank the girls you trust with your deepest secrets from most to least. Amaya 1, Iris 2, Olandria 3, Grayson 4, Huda 5, Sierra, Jaden, Shelly, Andrina, and Clark at the very end. So those were the games, and it was I mean, like I said, it was kind of thrilling in the moment to watch them, react about America ranking them. But other than that, what did you guys, and by the way, Elon's hair, he had it like all slicked back the night before. And then it was like, this guy's doing crazy good, cool things with his hair.
Yeah, no. And then I saw Nick trying to recreate it, and people were like, let Elon have his hair. Like it wasn't doing him good.
Yeah.
But his hair looks really good. Like when he walked out, I was like, who is that?
I know. It did look like a completely different person.
It did.
At all, So then, they took the people at the bottom, right? And it was the guys at the bottom, right, were TJ, Taylor, and Austin. And the bottom for the girls were Jaden, Grayson, and Andrina, which I was shocked that those were the three at the bottom. Like, if you are so upset about Shereé or you are so upset about Sierra, or where were they at the bottom? Like, why didn't they?
I was very confused about that too. And to be quite honest, like I thought this was the episode Sierra was going home.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna hear Ian Sterling say like Sierra has left the villa or something like that.
Or by the way, I would like rig it, blame America, say we voted her off.
Yeah, literally. So I was very shocked to see those four girls in the bottom. Like I was expecting to see Shereé in the bottom, Grayson in the bottom, Olandria, and Adrina. But like I was not expecting to see those four at the bottom because I generally thought Sierra was going to get pulled out. So yeah, I was very confused.
I also found it interesting too. Like on our season, we had the Red Wedding Night, and we couldn't save Islanders. Like there was no more like at this point of the season, there wasn't like America's vote was what America voted for. Like there was no like Islanders choose who to save. It was like, oh, you're in the bottom three, you're out. Bottom three girls were gone, bottom three guys were gone.
Yeah, and I feel like in this season, like the Islanders got to save a lot of people. Like they got a choice for it.
Yeah, whereas, they got to stand behind who they wanted to save because you could only save one, correct?
One person, yeah.
Yeah. And this is why I talk about like this is why it's important like to recognize like if you're an Islander to recognize the three layers. Like you have the production around you because maybe they were going to vote off like the bottom three Islanders, like let America do it. But then they're like, oh, we kind of still want that Islander here. And like, we kind of know that like the Islanders might vote this way. So we could save that Islander. So let's have them vote this. Let's do this instead of this. So you have to be like really careful and like knowing production, knowing who you are and knowing your castmates, knowing the audience. Like you have to be aware of that at all times to like help yourself have the best chance to stay.
Did they make the right choice in saving Taylor out of that group? Really thinking about this.
Yeah, because I'm just like, Grayson, yeah, we could have tossed, she could go. Yeah. There was no connection there. Adrina was with Brian, and I felt like
I thought she had a better connection with Jeremiah than Brian, to be honest.
Yeah, so, I mean... Yes, I guess, because Clark wasn't in the bottom, so I don't know. I felt like...
Well, and like, I mean, he's been there since day one, so he's going to have more people behind him. I mean, I did feel bad for Iris in that moment with TJ. I thought, obviously, she was very sad. It was pretty intense. Like, Pepe didn't even stand behind Grayson.
Yeah, that was wild.
It was pretty wild.
So yeah, they all left except for Taylor, and that was sending 5 people home. We needed that to clear up, obviously, space because there is just so jam-packed right now. And then obviously you didn't see Friday night's episode, but just really quickly, you guys, Pepe, like, I felt like immediately was on like making a move for Iris, but under the guise of I'm comforting you as a friend. But I do think that is going to go much further in Sunday night's episode. And then Brian and Amaya Papaya, Brian went and stood up for Amaya and like was really comforting to Amaya. And I think that is going to go further. It also, this episode this is where it did reaffirm, and you haven't seen it, Ace and Shelley's connection, as well as Taylor and Clark. They had some moments of like, Taylor was like, sorry that, you got stuck with me. And she seemed to like understand, but she did think it was wild how America voted, but she is sticking with him. Nick and Sierra talked about their feelings for each other and talked about the controversial choice to vote for Taylor to say. The splits we had this episode is like the Zach with a K and Amaya officially over. Amaya admitted she was no longer interested in him romantically, in a very funny conversation. Shelley pulled Chris aside to let him know he shouldn't pursue her anymore, which was fine because he was already focused on Huda at this point. And then the challenge was a challenge called Crash Out, where they, it's just a bunch of slime and ball pits and all of this stuff. I mean, it was fun and edited well, and everybody seemed to have a good time, but it was crazy. Like I would like hurt my knee. Like they were hopping from thing to thing, but I mean, it was a pretty basic episode, but tonight we have a recoupling and we don't know what's going to happen with Sierra. I mean, there's just so many things that have happened outside of the actual show that I don't know where this show goes. And maybe we're just thinking too big. Maybe they're just going to ignore it all and keep their heads down and just push through to the end. But what are your thoughts?
I think that would be a mistake if they don't do anything about it. I think they have to maintain their status as a franchise and not just do it for the sake of the season. I think that would be a mistake if they don't do anything about the Sierra situation at this point.
Is Nicolandria going to happen again? Is Nicolandria happening again?
The Final Four. I think Nicolandria could definitely make the Final Four.
I mean, I could see that happening. Yeah, I agree with Bergie. I think that it would be a mistake if they don't pull her out because, it already happened once this season, and then it's kind of, they're also, Peacock and Love Island, like, they're getting, like, if you look at the comment section, it is nothing but Sierra and the racial slur, like, any post that, like, they posted Janae's and Kaylor's commercial, and I commented, like, being like, Kay and Nene, and then someone being like, oh, so you can post this, but you can't like acknowledge or address the Sierra situation. So they're getting a lot of backlash for it. So I think it's only going to hurt the franchise more, like Peacock and Love Island as a whole, if they don't pull her out. I think it would be a mistake if they did keep her.
I don't, as an audience though, it's like Ariana went on After Sun again on Saturday and having to warn the audience about cyberbullying and all of this stuff and doxing. And these are obviously obvious things, but I think this show, when, it makes fans so impassioned, around what they're seeing, and we're told we're a part of it. And I think people take that to such an extreme, even though they are in the right in their feelings, but the way we go about it sometimes is so scary.
I think what also implements into that is that we get to vote on things and people feel like their voice needs to be heard. Like you see people like, where's the Twitter challenge or where's this at? Like, I want my voice to be heard. I'm voting for this. Like, why is my vote not mattering? Or why is this happening? Like, they get so frustrated, and it's like they think they're in the game because they get to make decisions outside of the game. I feel like is part of the reason why.
Yeah. So I guess, I hate to sound all bummer about this, but who's winning? I guess we've talked about like who are we pulling? Who do we think is going to win next Sunday night?
Amaya and Brian.
Okay. Amaya's number one. Number two, let's put, this is so hard. Like, Ryan, last year you asked me after Casa Amor, and I think I predicted like the final four couples. Yeah. And this, it's like I can't even do a final four. So we're gonna go Amaya and Brian for number one. Shelley and Ace, do we see them getting third or fourth? Third. Okay, so we got third place there.
I see
Pepe
getting second. I see Pepe getting second
with Iris.
Pepe second,
yeah,
and then we got place open. Maybe Nicolandria or We still have 2 bombshells coming in, I think, unless they're just dropping those.
No
I think
more people.
No, like they don't need to do bombshells. I really hope they don't, because like
I really
what
there they should drop that because typically they still have 2 more bombshells, and I hope they just drop that.
No, because then it's gonna be a repetition of like, well, now I want to explore this, and it's like we have 2 more days. There's no more exploring.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, take it off the island. I don't, and it'll be interesting because they'll do some press days while they're there in Fiji with the winners. Then they'll come back. I mean, it's just going to be it'll be very interesting to see the aftermath of this season as opposed to the season itself, unless we don't know what craziness will happen this week, but I think the audience is somewhat exhausted, or at least that's just my own personal feelings. I think it's going to be, this is just insanity. I think it's going to be Nicolandria for 1, and I'm half winking when I say that. I'm just half winking. Amaya and Brian 2.
Nope.
Pepe and Iris 3, and Ace and Shelly 4.
Okay.
Okay, Amaya and Brian 1. Shelly and Ace 3. Sorry, I'm going out of order here. Pepe and Iris 2nd. 4th, Nicolandria.
Amaya, Brian 1, Pepe, Iris 2nd, Nicolandria 3rd, Ace, Shelly 4th.
You already did your choosing a second ago. You didn't choose.
I'm redoing it.
Oh, we're allowed to redo? Okay. Well, then I'm going to redo mine. No,
I'll redo mine next Sunday after the episode airs.
Somebody asked me on a podcast today who are my favorite guy and girl on Love Island, and I said, I got to go with Ariana and Ian Sterling. That's my favorite guy and girl this season. I don't. I'm excited to see what Amaya does. Amaya's. I'm excited to see how they use her outside of this format. But yeah, that's pretty much. That's it, you guys. Sorry this wasn't more detailed, but it has been a long week with the 4th and all of that stuff. But thank you, and so sorry that we were late with this. We're going to do one more of these, and I don't know how we're going to do it because Sunday is the final episode. So I don't know if we need to do this on Monday. I don't know when we record next week.
We could. I could definitely do Monday, obviously at a later time after work.
Yeah, I could do Monday works too if we want to discuss like the whole.
That might be good because we might be able to get the aftermath in some format, some way, That
way we can touch base on Sierra, if she gets voted out or not, and all of that, how that comes into play. Hopefully no more racial slurs come out in the next 10 days.
By the way, I know that sounds obvious, but everybody, and also people raising their kids at home. I mean, this is just such an important lesson to teach, this is a teachable moment in some way. And I think it would be obvious, but my God, this is supposed to be fun and flirty and horny and all of that stupid stuff. And we're bringing in so much darkness to this, which I mean, is a reflection of the world. But I feel like, this can be a teachable lesson, hopefully, for future reality stars and influencers all out there.
Yeah, if you're wanting to apply for Love Island, I say go for it. Just don't post stupid shit. Don't be ignorant. That's the best advice.
Did you see they did a casting in San Diego a couple weeks ago, and it was packed to be on Love Island? Yeah.
Yeah, no, we went to one in Chicago last year.
The pop-up.
Yeah. They're fun if you are able to go. Just get there early enough and make sure it's not a hot day. Bring lots of water. That'd be the 2 tips. Bring lots of water because you could be standing in line to do something.
Oh my God. I wish there was one in LA. I would go just as a joke with a camera to just stand in line. What's up? Fun. And then just go blouseless, with love handle. What's up? I'm ready. What's up? And do the love thing. What is the sign that they do now? The love thing.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah. I can't. It's all. I don't know, you guys. Go follow Taylor and Bergie and all their exploits. We're gonna keep going, but everything's good with you guys. Otherwise,
I'm almost at 100K.
Dude, we're so close, you guys. Let's the people that have unfollowed Sierra. Can you go follow Taylor?
Migrate over. I'll take the 300K. I'll take
Or take at least 1,000. We should split these up like deservedly who it should go to. But okay. And also, Taylor, OC premieres this week. Realize there's Orange County.
I know. Okay. I told you, I've been hooked on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
That reunion? Did you watch the reunion?
I didn't watch the reunion because I'm just started it.
Oh my God, I can't wait to hear what you think throughout the season. Okay, you guys, I know this is late for you guys, so thank you so much for you listening. Thank you for being patient. I'm so sorry that this was late. And we will also have a whole new episode on Monday, Pop Culture Roundup, and this. So you got double trouble today. I'm going to release this tonight on Sunday night. So hopefully some of you will get to listen after tonight's episode of Love Island USA. And we will talk to you next week. Bye!